We ourselves as individuals are strong people. And when we are strong people, once we have done all the work we can do to be the best individual that we can be, we need to start working on our couples, as in just the husband and the wives, to create strong relationships that are role models within the home. Once we have strong marriages, we can build strong families, which includes our children, our relatives, and everybody else around us, but strong families. And then on top of that, when we have strong Muslim families, we are able to effectively contribute to the communities that we are a part of. It's the hierarchy that you have to build on. If you were going to build a foundation for something, you want to make sure that the greatest energy and the effort that you're putting in is in the foundation. And the foundation is yourself. Without being a good person, there's really not much you can do to contribute to the rest of the community either. So there's 4 things, and I wish you could see it because you would be able to visualize it better, but there are 4 things that you need to focus on as an individual when you take account of yourself. The first of those 4 is your Creator. As Muslims, alhamdulillah, we are blessed to have such an incredible guideline with which we navigate our lives. We know what's important, where we need to give more value, where we need to invest our time, and what kind of effort we need to make in order to be good people. So that handbook's already given to us. I don't need to sit here and teach you because you already know that one of the most important relationships that you will ever have, in fact, wait, let me correct myself. The most important relationship you will ever have is your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The day your relationships in life start to falter, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your parents, whether it's with your partners, the day you feel strain and stress in your relationship, come back to your relationship with your Creator and make sure that you are giving that relationship the most importance, because once you are in a good place in your deen and in your spirituality, navigating the rest becomes a little bit easier. So the first thing, as yourself, you want to focus on your Creator. The second thing that you want to focus on as an individual is your character. Character, as we all know as Muslims, is one of the most emphasized things that we are talked about over and over again. Our manners, our adab, our akhlaq, the way that we interact with other people, the way that we interact with our own families, the way that we interact with our parents, our spouses, our children, the character that we display. Are we able to give the best of ourselves to other people? The third point is care. And care is a very broad term, because when I talk about care, it's not just about caring for other people, it's about caring for yourself as well. A lot of the women are very guilty that if you are a wife and a mother, you're so invested in everybody else around you that you forget that you need to take care of yourself as well. So taking those breaks, and not to excuse the brothers either, make sure that you're making lots of time for self-care. Because when you are taken care of, and your glass is full, you're able to pour into others and take care of them as well. So far, Creator, character, care. And the last thing to work on yourself is consistency. Now we all know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that the most favored of acts are those that are consistent, that we repeat and we do over and over again. So in order to be a good person, in order to build from within, you need to make sure that everything that you're doing is consistent and happens on a regular basis, not just occasionally or once in a while. Okay, I'll be connected to my Creator once in a while. I'll practice good character once in a while. I'll take care of myself and others once in a while. Probably not very successful. So if you want to make sure that you are performing at an optimum level, you have to make sure, does anybody remember what 4 they were? Character, my son said that one, good. Care, very good. And what was the first one? Creator, good. I had a whole bunch of people paying attention. Thank you very much. Absolutely. So that's focusing on yourself. Now, another thing that I see a lot in therapy when people come in for counseling is emotional imbalance. As we all know, we all have a range of emotions. We get happy, excited, angry, frustrated. So many emotions that we experience even on a daily basis. But the more important part is, are you as an individual aware of your emotions? Do you know how you feel? Because the number of times if somebody asks you, how do you feel? Most people say, I don't know. And that's an important question to be able to answer for yourself. Every day, all the time. You need to be so in tune with your emotional self. Why? Because our emotions have a direct relationship with our behavior. How many times, you don't have to raise your hand if you're embarrassed. How many times have you gotten angry and then raised your voice? Or slammed something down? Or slammed the table? There was a girl here, she raised her hand and realized she's the only one in the room, so she's like, whoop! Never happened. But no, how many times have you noticed that if you were having a great day, you were being nicer to other people? So the emotional awareness is the platform with which we launch ourselves as people and how we present ourselves to others, specifically to our family members. If you're having a rough day, chances are by the end of it, other people in your family are having a rough day because you pushed it on to them as well. So just a lot of emotional awareness. How do I feel? Why do I feel this way? And what impact is that having on the people around me? If we can learn to become so in tune with ourselves, we can automatically change the way we react to other people when they're around us as well. So that part was about the self. How to make sure that we focus on ourselves as individuals in order to influence. What was the second part? Does anybody remember that? First was yourself. The second was what? Come on, I'm not that deaf. When we were building on healthy communities, you take care of yourself first. What's the second most important thing? I'm going to pretend somebody said the couple, because that was the right answer. Taking care of the relationship of marriage. Now, Muslim families suffer the most because our marriages suffer the most. And if we can just start creating healthy households by modeling good relationships at home, our entire society and our entire community would see such a drastic difference in everything that we do. Our children don't want to be at home when they're 13, 14, 17, 18 because home is not a happy place to be. Our children want to run away as fast as they can because they just want the craziness to stop. So if we could just create great relationships at home that model love, honor, respect, dignity, then we can create spaces for our children where instead of running away, they want to come back to. That homes become safe spaces. Parents become somebody they can come to and talk to. So when we talk about the couple and the relationship between a husband and a wife, it's clearly so important to know that this is the gateway to a successful family. An unhealthy marriage will cause generations of unhealthy relationships. So when people come to me with their 14, 15-year-olds and they say, struggling with my children, they don't listen, we don't have any quality family life, what am I supposed to do? My first question is, describe your relationship with your partner. Tell me what your home looks like. Tell me what your husband and your wife relationship looks like. Are we displaying good to our children, or are we displaying negativity? Because a father who is abusive and angry and loud will automatically have children who will not want to be in that environment and later on in life want to model that environment. And a mother who is nagging and bickering and complaining all the time will create that negative space for her children no matter how much the other partner is doing. So focusing on creating healthy marriages. First, our own role, because don't forget, that's where we started from. Make sure you yourself are a good person, because until you're a good person, you can't be a good partner. The second part is knowing our rights, knowing what's good for us, what's right for us, making sure that we're not in a relationship that's harmful or hurtful. And the last part is taking responsibility. Because a lot of the marriages that exist, or the problematic marriages that exist, are when people are just pointing fingers and saying, it's his fault, or it's her fault. And usually it's your own fault. And if you can take ownership, and if you can look at yourself and say, okay, this is my contribution to the relationship, here's how I make my marriage better, then automatically you create a partnership that is positive because both people are doing the same thing. They're concerned about their partner's happiness to the point that they're only worried, am I doing the right thing? Now, that kind of reminds you that in Islam, accountability with yourself before others. So check yourself first. Am I the best husband I could possibly be today? Did I do everything I could in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make my partner happy? And the same thing for the sisters here. Do everything you can to make your husbands happy. And take account of that at the end of the day. That did I do everything I possibly could have in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make my husband happy? And if both partners are doing just that, it creates space for healthy, happy marriages. Now, we've all heard this hadith repeated over and over and over again. It's one of my favorites because it really reminds us, specifically on a day like today, how important our deen has made families. How much elevation we've given to our spouses, to our children. That, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that the most perfect among you in faith is the believer who is best in manner and kindness to his family, or also in other narrations to his wife. So if we can just take just this one point, and build with that, the best in manner and kindness to our families. How many of us are guilty in this room of being really great to our supervisors at work, or to our co-workers, or to our boss? How many of us plaster on that smile and say, good morning, how's your day, how are the kids, how's the wife? We're more concerned about other people's families than our own. How many of us go to school and put on this face with our teachers and our principal, and if our teacher walks in the room, we're going to give her so much love and respect, but we won't do the same for our mother. So just to take accountability of ourselves, that if we could bring the best version of ourselves to our families, what would be the result of that? If we could give the best version of ourselves to the people who lived with us. Okay. So now, we're going to move on the hierarchy. First ourselves, then our marriages, and the third thing was our family. We cannot have great families until we know how to be good parents. I wish I could take this off and kind of come into the audience for a bit, but this is audience interaction time. Audience interaction time. What do kids need? Can anybody, I'm going to ask like 3 people, what do children need? Anybody? Love, attention, care, affection. Anybody else? One of the brothers? What do kids need? There's a kid. Why don't you tell me? What do you need? Wi-Fi. Friends. Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay, that's true. Nowadays, kids need Wi-Fi. Okay, so what do kids need? A lot of the times, we think as parents that we know them so well. I know what my kids need. But the reality here is, we really, really don't. Every child is so different as a person, as an individual. So when I have parents coming in to ask, what do the kids need nowadays? Do you know what I say to them? Just ask them. Ask your kids, what is it that you need? What are your needs? What are your wants? What makes you happy? What makes you excited? And if you can do that, if you can ask your children and get responses back from them, it makes you out to be a more responsible parent. Most of us, if we're in the workforce, you fill out employee evaluations every year. You get taken into account for your performance at work. I encourage you all, after today, to do some family evaluations. Ask your children, what do you love the most about me? What do you get most inspired by what I say or what I do? And then ask this horrible question, what can I do to be a better mother or father? And hopefully they will say nothing, you are perfect, and I wish I was you. But if they don't say that you are perfect, then be able to listen to the little bit of criticism that comes, because really, at the end of the day, your children are allowed and should be allowed to evaluate your parenting. I ask these questions to my kids, the 4 of them, they're sitting right here. You can talk to them after my speech. That it's important to be honest. It's important to give space to your children for them to be able to tell you what it is that needs improvement. I always get 2 things. Number 1, stay off your phone. You're on your phone too much, right? On your phone too much. I'm trying. I keep telling them it's part of my work as well. And the other thing I get is too many hugs. 2 squishy hugs. So make sure that you ask your children what it is that they need from you, because inshallah, if we are able to do just this, create strong individuals, create strong marriages, and then create strong families, ultimately we contribute in a very positive way to the community, because we take all this fantastic energy that we've created through the positive parenting and family model to then take it outside our homes and do all wonderful things like volunteering and providing for others and showing up to our masjids and to our community events as great representatives, not as dysfunctional families. Jazakallah khair. I think that's time. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I really appreciate coming to visit new masjids and new people. If anybody has any questions after, I will be around to answer whatever needs to be answered. And inshallah, if you ever need more information, feel free to contact me. My practice is Noor Counseling Services. Now you can actually Google it and something will show up. So once again, Jazakallah khair. Enjoy the rest of Family Day and a wonderful lineup of speakers ahead.